Alright, this is the final list that I'm going to compile for the year of 2000. And out of all the movies, the wonderful movies, the crappy movies that I saw in 2013, there was 8 documentaries that I really enjoyed, and I want to count down to the top 8 documentaries of 2013. Alright, let's put 10 minutes on the clock. I do want to mention a honorable mention because I felt like this was a great film. It might not be a documentary, but it is one of the greatest concert films. Of course, it documents the band. The film is called Metallica Through the Never. And I just picked up the soundtrack yesterday. This is at Best Buy, a 2-disc soundtrack. This is at Best Buy as I do this video right now. It is selling for $8.99. And if you love Metallica, I highly recommend that you pick this up. I love this film. It was a great film. It mixed the documentary format with shooting the concert, as well as giving us a small narrative starring Dane DeHaan as a roadie. So I really enjoyed this film. I actually saw it twice in IMAX, and the second time, Lars Ulrich, Metallica drummer himself, showed up to the screening, and I got that on camera. If you're interested, it is on YouTube. You can search Lars Ulrich in Norwalk, California. So there you go. I love this film. And now let's count down to the top 8 documentaries of 2013. Alright, the first one is Generation Iron. This was a really fascinating documentary that held my attention, even though it's a world that I'm not too interested in, though I probably could find some way to exercise myself. And this movie did inspire me to exercise, though I'm not really interested in bulking up like these men. But this documentary team did a fabulous job as getting us to care about these 2 individuals, let alone a lot of other bodybuilders in this film. And I do recommend this movie, especially if you love documentaries, if you love bodybuilding, if you love getting in shape, and if you enjoyed Pumping Iron, the movie starring Arnold Schwarzenegger, because this is like a quasi-sequel to that. And it's just very fascinating, and I hope it's on Netflix very soon so more people get to see it. I really enjoyed it, very entertaining. Number 7 is a Spanish-speaking documentary called Narco Culture, or Narcotics Culture. This is a very interesting documentary that held my attention very well, because it was telling me about something that I wasn't really aware of. I've been to Mexico a few times, mainly Baja California, but this really examines the violence that is going on in Mexico, right on the border of America near Texas. And it surrounds also the pop culture, or the music culture that is coming out of that is kind of capitalizing on all the crap that is going on. And of course, this is nothing new. We know we see this a lot in culture all the time, in pop culture, kind of capitalizing and taking something that may be ripped from the headlines and then turning it around, whether it's music or movies. And I just found this movie to be extremely fascinating. I hope it does go on Netflix very soon, and I do recommend it. It is an extremely interesting film, and just blew my mind. And it's well shot as well. One of my favorite aspects of the movie is not the music that's coming from this film, though I felt that was really interesting, but the actual individual, the CSI agent that goes around and collects all these murders, and it seems like nothing really gets done, but he needs a job, and he was just very interesting. I found him to be the most fascinating aspect of the entire film. Recommend that film very much. Number 6, Alex Gibney has given us 2 documentaries this year, and this is the first one I want to talk about. Surprise, I'm going to talk about another one very soon. But this is the first one. Number 6, The Armstrong Lie. I could care less about Lance Armstrong. I just never found the guy fascinating at all. I never really followed his career. But Alex Gibney gives you a very interesting portrait in this man's life. And it all surrounds, of course, the big lie that he had, of course, lying that he took steroids, that he didn't take steroids, and then he found out, we all found out that he took steroids. I wasn't really aware of what was going on, so this was a documentary that really opened up my eyes, and I just found it to be extremely fascinating. And of course, Alex Gibney is one of my favorite documentarians ever, and he does a great job because it's telling about Lance Armstrong's life, and before and after this incident. And it just, luckily we have this great interview, and I just really enjoy this film, mainly because the way Alex Gibney directs. He just makes it completely fascinating for over 2 hours. Great filmmaker. I'm looking forward to seeing what he has next. Number 5, I saw some music documentaries this year, but the best music documentary that I saw this year was Journey, Don't Stop Believing. Now this movie examines Mainly, them getting the new the new frontman for Journey. I believe the guy is from the Philippines, and he has this incredible career. They found him on YouTube, and now he's, touring the country with Journey, and he's part of Journey, and he is Journey. This is just a fascinating documentary. It's the best music documentary that I saw this year, and I highly recommend it. I believe it's on Netflix right now. If it isn't, I apologize, but if it is, please go check it out. It's great whether you're a Journey fan or not. Number 4 is the only film on this list that is nominated for Best Documentary. It was the only film that I saw, though every film that is nominated for Best Documentary right now is on Netflix, I think, except for this movie. They might all be on there, but I don't know. But this is a great film. I'll get right into it. 20 Feet from Stardom. This is a film that examines the careers of the women who are backup singers that don't get the credit that they should. And luckily for this documentary, they are. Out of the 4 or 5 documentaries, I hope this movie wins because it's the only one I've seen, though all the other films are on Netflix, and I look forward to seeing them. This is a great documentary, and I highly recommend it, whether you love the music or not. Number 3, we've gotten some really great films in the past about the West Memphis 3, including the threequel, the trilogy, the Paradise Lost trilogy. But Peter Jackson also produced a film called West of Memphis, which I highly recommend that you check out. I saw it earlier in the year. Most people might consider it a 2012 film. I consider it a 2013 film. And it is just an incredible film. It definitely documents a lot of what Paradise Lost documented, as well as what just happened recently with the case. So I really enjoyed this film, and I just admire Peter Jackson for partaking in making this documentary and also partaking in the men's lives and just the tragedy that came from this. Everybody suffers. Everybody suffers from this story. But it's a great film. I don't know if it's on Netflix right now, but if you can find it somehow, I highly recommend it, whether you've seen Paradise Lost or not. Number 2 is Alex Gibney's second film that came out earlier this year. It's called Wikileaks, We Steal Secrets. Incredible film. I absolutely love this film. I remember hearing about Wikileaks a few years back, but not really getting into it, not really caring, except for all the drama that was going on. But this was a really interesting documentary that really helped me as a viewer to understand what was going on in WikiLeaks, what was going on all behind the scenes of this story. And Alex Gibney again narrates the story and does a great job. He also narrates most of his movies, but narrated Armstrong Lie, and he also narrated this film. But if you like Alex Gibney and you like to hear about the story of WikiLeaks and all that stuff, I really recommend. I think this movie is on Netflix right now. It's a great documentary and just proves that Alex Gibney is one of the greatest documentarians ever. And I'm sad that neither one of these films got nominated for an Oscar. And the final film is one of the greatest documentary series in my entire life that I've ever actually seen. It is the Up series, and we just got, in the beginning of the year, we got 56 Up. Yes, every 7 years we get to meet these, I think they're all from the United Kingdom, maybe some are from Australia, but most of them are from the United Kingdom, and we get to meet them again and see what's going on in their lives. And yes, it does feel kind of weird as a little bit of voyeurism as we get to interject our lives into their lives and see what's going on. Some more than others really enjoy this film, and I really like what Michael Apted has done as a filmmaker. He has participated in every single one of these films ever since 7 Up. I think all these films right now are on Netflix. 7 Up, 14 Up, 21 Up, 28 Up, 35 Up, 42 Up, 49 Up, and 56 Up. I'm looking forward to what happens in 7 years' time. I believe that will be 63 Up, I think, yes. No, 64 Up. 63, whatever. I'm looking forward to when the 60s happen. I'll be a little older myself, but this is just an amazing documentary that just examines these individuals' lives, and these people have felt like they're family to me, even though we only get to know them every 7 years. I would love to meet any of these individuals. This is just a great, and I admire their courage for being a part of a project like this. Though they were introduced very, very young, but I admire that most of these people are sticking with the project. And like Roger Ebert said, I think this was the greatest documentary that he had ever seen, and it is a series. And it is one of the greatest documentary series that I have ever seen. It made 2013 an exceptional year in documentary. All these films made 2013 an exceptional year in documentaries. Alright, let's close this out. Thank you so much for watching. 2013 was a great year. Of course, I will come back later and talk about the Oscars within a month. That'll probably be the last video I do about 2013. But I'm really looking forward to, hopefully next week I will have a video for the 10 most anticipated films of 2014. Please look forward to that video coming next week, hopefully. Thank you so much for watching. I'm MovieManCHAD. Please like, comment, subscribe to my channel. I'm also on Twitter and I'm on Facebook. And please go to WeLiveFilm.com and subscribe right here on YouTube to We Live Film. And also go to Long Beach Acting and Film Association on Facebook and Twitter. And if you enjoyed this video, please click right here and subscribe to my channel. I'd really appreciate it. 2014 is coming up. Hopefully we're going to have some good movies. End of January is coming up. I'm looking forward to the end of January so we can hopefully start the most amazing movie year in movie history. That's how positive I am for 2014. 2013 was great. Let's see if we can top it. Thank you so much for watching, and peace on earth, my friends, and goodwill towards men and women.